Hey guys, this is Painterly, and today I'm doing a very stylized self-portrait of myself, and for the pleasure of you guys, I guess. And I've been trying a different style for my drawing, one that's a bit more, again, a bit more stylized. I'm just trying to mature as an artist, basically, and get my own style. And so basically, as you see, I'm doing my general light sketch, figure out my skin tone, because I found my skin tone a bit difficult to color, and just basically going right at it, starting with the drawing after doing the quick sketch. And as you see, I have a very big scarf. I really like scarves. I wear them often, mainly to cover my neck because it gets cold really easily since I have short hair. And basically this is your first shot of actually seeing me, because I'm not quite confident enough to do a video with me actually in it. So yeah, and basically I'm going through doing my hair, doing my face first. I should really do my body first, but just the way it flowed out. Doing the scarf, I want most of the movements coming from the scarf, so I want to make it big and a bit yeah, basically overemphasize it, because the rest of the drawing is a bit static. And so doing the basic lines, I decided not vary the line widths for this, because this drawing went pretty quickly and I wanted to get it through. And so now I'm doing the fine details in the scarf. Sorry, my throat's a bit cloggy today, as you can see. And basically doing the little designs in it, just little hints. This drawing has a lot of little pattern, well, not a lot, it's going to have some patterns in it. And I have two techniques for those, and one of them is right here, doing the lines and then just doing different colors in it, as you'll see in the coloring stage. The other one is just doing, you'll see it later on actually. Sorry. And I spent a fair amount of time doing this design actually. It may seem quick, but this video is getting sped up at times 16. No wait, times 10 actually. Times 16 went a bit too quickly. So now I'm starting with the color, doing with my skin tone first. I went from a medium tone first, then did the shadows, as you can see. And I kept the light source consistent this time, and then I put in the lightness, which took up most of it. And then I was able to fairly replicate my skin tone. And now just cleaning up where the color went off into the hair. Clean it up a bit, put in a bit more of the shadows to create some more definition. And there, I had to go for a bit for that little area. Continuing on cleaning up, and it was, as you see, I missed some bits, so I put in some of the shadows. Then I started with my pants. I tend to wear a lot of very dark blue jeans, so as you see, I had a bit difficult time figuring out what the lines were because of that, though. And so I put in the shadows first, and then I cleaned up afterwards, just so I could get a nicer looking. And as you can see, I had to go. My mother came back home, and I had to greet her. This area though is a very poor part. I like having my lines clean, so using selection tool to color this up is to erase is a very good thing for me. This is all done in Paint Tool Sign, which I'm currently debating right now if I like it better than the Photoshop for drawing. They both have its merits, I find. And so let's see, I missed some parts. And I had to do this video shot 3 times. I had to take rests or breaks. I had to go to school or stuff like that. And basically doing shoes. I'm never good at doing shoes. Now we get to the more detailed areas of the scarves and the shirt. I like the color green, so I tried to put it in when I can, and for that means doing the scarf. I learned a trick of doing the outer lines in the color and then selecting the parts that are inside, and then I can just fill it. It's definitely saved me a lot of time once I figured out that. Then taking up the whole selection so I don't have to go over when I'm doing the shadows is also a very useful thing. And because there's a lot of shadows, light play in this. adding definition, and because I love doing light play even though I'm still practicing on it, I'm trying to keep my light source consistent, which again is a very important part of my art style. And just adding the highlights. And then I was practicing a bit of the, and now I'm putting the second texture technique I was talking about is putting in a very light color and playing around with opacity to see how much definition I want. This technique, it has to be done on a separate layer because you don't want the entire sweater to go down in opacity. So let's see, I put it in, and then after I finish a bit, I try out how it looks like with the opacity, just so I can keep it consistent looking. And basically, I could have done a bit better with like having the texture kind of follow the fabric a bit better, but again, I had to go. But I had to keep for the texture to follow a bit better, and I could have basically improved on that. But this way it was pretty quick. I just wanted to go quickly, especially since it was going down to a pretty low opacity at the end. I did not need to keep it. I did not need it to follow too closely. And see, at the end I got lazy. I just decided to do scribbles. So you got a bit of woolen texture, like a knit sweater texture. And now I'm going on to the eyes. I have kind of olivey green eyes, so, and basically do the shadows. Since the eyes tend to have kind of rings around them, you need to, and you do your shadows in the color and just keep on bringing down the lightness and darkness. Brought in some of the yellow and some using light lime green for the light reflections, and bring in the dark for the pupils. Then I usually do eyebrows and eyelashes above the hair layer, because so they stand out. And you see now I'm doing my hair, and using the same technique as the sweater to do to fill it in. So I started with the medium tone again, and then I'm just selecting it so I can have an easier way of doing the highlights and shadows. I did on hair especially. I do highlights and shadows on a separate layer from the base, because if I mess up too horribly, it's easy enough to fix. Now I'm bringing the darkness, darker bits in the hair. My hair is definitely darker at the back because since I cut it short, my hair kind of bleaches in the sun, so the lightness in the back where it gets cut more often, darkness in the back that gets cut more often needs to show up. Now putting in the highlights to bring in the blondish bits, and bringing in more of the hair texture with the blonde as well. And then now starting with the scarf, decided to do purple because it goes well with the green, and it's not too similar to the blue. Basically just doing the bits of the color, again the outline technique. And sorry about the screen capture, it tends to go pixely. I'm trying to find a better one. If you know of a better one that's free, because I'm broke, put it in the comments below perhaps. And basically doing the selections, doing the colors. I find that the selection tool in size not as nice as the one in Photoshop, so that's a thing to think about. Putting in the shadows, putting in the highlights. And then this is the second thing coming up is the second way I do bring in the patterns, is putting in a separate color that's lighter and just doing little highlights, playing around with opacity as well. I do a lot of opacity play to help with my lighting, so basically I've switched around with the lines a bit just to see how it looks without the lines. And now I'm just doing a bit of a background. Since I'm not very good at backgrounds, I decided to do a more abstract one so it just doesn't look so blank in the back. And brought down the opacity, and there it is. That's the final product. Thank you for watching, and hope you liked it, and I'll be continue doing more. Thank you. Thank you for watching my speed paint today, and this has been Painterly.